Now, we all hope that we're never in a position where we need to hire a lawyer. I think lawyers are probably the most hated profession in the world until you need one, right? So that goes without saying. But if you are in a position where you need a lawyer, specifically a criminal defense lawyer, how do you go about choosing the right one? So that's what we're talking about on this week's video. So stick around and hear what I've got to say about the matter. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're having a great week and gearing up for a good holiday weekend. But this week, I wanted to talk to you about a conversation that I have a lot of times with potential new clients on how do they go about picking the right defense lawyer. You know, it's an important decision. Your life, your freedom, your future, it's all on the line. So how do you pick the right person to represent you? Well, I tell people a lot of times that finding a lawyer is kind of like finding a doctor. And what I mean by that is we all have the same degrees hanging on the wall. We all studied at accredited law schools, or at least I hope we all did. We're all licensed attorneys in the state where we practice. We all practice in the same courtrooms. We have access to the same case law research and law books and statutes that everybody else does. So what's the differentiator? And just like with finding a doctor, a big part of the equation, I think the number one thing that you need to be looking for when you're sitting down with a consultation is a level of comfort. You've got to feel comfortable with the person that's representing you. That's why, to me, it's always a big red flag. If you go into a consultation with a lawyer you're looking to hire, and the person that is doing that consultation isn't the actual lawyer, sometimes it's a paralegal or an assistant or something like that, you want to make sure you're consulting with the lawyer that's actually going to be in the courtroom fighting the fight, because you have to have a level of comfortability, because there are no guarantees in the legal world. There's no promises that can be made. And so if you are unfortunately in a situation where the case doesn't go your way or you lose the case, the last thing you want on your mind is, well, that's because the lawyer didn't do everything that he could do. Right? You want to feel comfortable that no matter what happens, that lawyer is going to have your back. That lawyer is going to fight for you. That lawyer is on your side, and you can trust them to do their job the best way that they know how. Okay, so that's number one, is you're looking for just a level of comfortability. Number two, the other big thing you're looking for in terms of talking with a lawyer and picking the right lawyer, to me, is a level of honesty. Okay, I'm the way I practice law, I'm incredibly honest with all of my clients, be they potential clients, current clients, past clients, what have you. And what I mean by that is I make sure not to tell my clients what I think they want to hear. Okay, I don't tell them, the facts with some sugar-coated version of, well, it's not that bad. I'll tell you straight up, this is what I think. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm seeing. These are where I think the challenges are going to be. This is what I expect this judge or this jury to possibly do. This is my experience with that prosecutor, and this is typically the way he or she operates. And I'm not doing that because I want to scare you or intimidate you or anything like that. I'm doing that purposefully because I want you to know that when I come to you later on down the road, when your case is getting difficult, and I'm saying, this is a problem, I want you to know that that's because that's really what I think. Or if I tell you, hey, I don't think we should file this motion, I think we should file this other motion instead, my hope is you can trust that I'm coming from a place of honesty and just openness with you on, this is strategically why I think this is a good idea or a bad idea. I need you to trust me in those moments. And the only way you're going to trust me in those moments is if I take the time up front to show you that I'm willing to be honest and give you all of the information, good and bad. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, and this kind of goes along with honesty, the biggest thing, the biggest red flag that can stick out to you when you're meeting with a lawyer is if they start making guarantees, assurances, or promises about what the result of a case might be. Okay, there is nothing in this job that comes close to a guarantee or a promise. I will never tell a client, I can promise you that I'm going to win your case. I can promise you that a judge will not put you in jail. I can promise you that a prosecutor is going to make this offer, because I can't. I don't know that. And by me telling you that, that would be a lie. It's unethical. It's against the rules. In fact, our contract here at our office specifically spells that out and say we cannot guarantee you a result. The only thing we can guarantee you is that we will fight as hard as we can. We will do everything in our power to get you the best possible outcome. But I can't promise you what that is, especially not at the front end of the case. And so if you're ever in a consultation and a lawyer is promising you that this is what's going to happen, or this is how this case is going to work out, to me, that's a big red flag. And that's something that you should pay particularly close attention to. And finally, number 4, the other thing that you're really looking for is your lawyer's level of skill and expertise in cases that are specifically like the one you're facing. And here's what I mean by that. You can Google criminal defense lawyer and you can find a ton of them, right? But not every criminal defense lawyer practices juvenile law regularly. Not every criminal defense lawyer practices DWIs. Not every criminal defense lawyer practices high-end white-collar criminal defense or federal criminal defense. You need to make sure you're finding a lawyer that is not just a general, I do criminal defense so I can help you. You want to know, do you specifically have expertise or experience in cases like mine? Because that's important. I mean, even just in misdemeanor law, how you try or how you approach a DWI case is much different than how you might try or approach an assault family violence case, right? When you're talking about felonies, a possession of a controlled substance offense, that felony, is much different than a manufactured delivery of a controlled substance. And those are much different than a felony level theft, right? Or an injury to a child or a sexual assault. All of those cases carry with them very specific nuances and difficulties. And you need to make sure that whoever you're hiring has experience and the comfortability in that particular type of case in order to get you the very best result. So I think if you sit down with your lawyer and you keep those 4 things in mind, you want to be comfortable with them, you want to make sure they're being honest with you, you want to make sure they're not making you any promises or assurances, and that they have the skill or expertise in a case specific to you, you're going to be fine, right? Because at that point, it becomes just a gut instinct feeling of, you know, when I talk to you, I like the way you say things. I like the way you were. I think you're the right guy for me or the right girl for me. And I think you're going to be fine, because then you're not looking back a year from now going, man, I think I made a mistake and I hired the wrong lawyer. Notice at no point did I say hire a lawyer based on cost or based on price. I think that's the very last consideration you should make. It is a consideration. It's a real world consideration that should be considered. But when you're first meeting with the lawyer, try to leave cost out of it, because if the lawyer's not a good fit for you, if you don't feel like they're being honest, if you don't feel they're comfortable with your case, then even if they're the cheapest lawyer in town, that's not worth the money you're paying them, right? Even if they're the most expensive lawyer in town, that's definitely not worth the money that you're paying them. So focus on those 4 things first, and I really think that you'll end up making a good decision. As always, if you have any questions about this or any of my other videos or topics, please feel free to reach out to me. Let me know. I'm happy to discuss them with you via phone or email. Reach out and let me know what questions you have, or if there's a topic on a video you'd like to see me tackle in the future, let me know that as well. I'm always happy to take suggestions. Other than that, I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.